My name is Ludi, and this is Montenegro, a nation that got its name from the famous volcano Black Mountain, where Frodo and Sam threw the One Ring, dust-destroying mortar once and for all. Montenegros enjoy long walks on the beach and pretending they're not actually Serbs, and in 1836, they didn't even exist, because technically it was after 1858 the Ottomans actually gave them independence. Montenegro having lost the Battle of Grahovo on the 26th of August, and as such, for the next 20 plus years, only being semi-autonomous province of the Ottoman Empire. But hey, I understand why. So everything I said at the start of the video is about as accurate as Montenegro existing. But hey, don't let that fool you. Today we're going to be restoring the great Yugoslavian state and making Montenegro great. Now I know what you're thinking, Ludi, why are you not pronouncing this correctly? It's because... Oh wow. YouTube really sucks. Now we start with 23,000 GDP, 34,000 population, no army, no navy. There was also a theocracy somehow, an orthodox theocracy for that matter. That's right, this is a very special nation, and it still is one today. Now you might be saying, Ludi, this is horrible, you only have 8.3 standard of living. Well, sir, I'll let you know the rest of Montenegro that's still apparently a part of the Ottomans has 4.3 destitute standard of living. So it definitely could be worse. We've got some decent technology, emphasis on that shaft mining, but mostly it's just lead mines. We don't have any of the other mines. You know, lead, that resource that we don't need for the next 30 years at least. And we also cannot even get a single logging camp. Yay! Who needs wood when you have friends? Which leads me to the next topic of today's video, our sponsor, Friends. That's the whole ad. We play Vicky 3, we don't have any friends. The mighty economy of Montenegro consists of a single livestock ranch. But don't worry, we have 2 manor houses to make sure the 5 farmers working the farms have enough owners. It's literally how the entire history of this nation was. Genuine. So the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to be warmongers, and we're going to be building some barracks in Montenegro. We do need small arms for that, so we're going to have to import some small arms from the Austrians. We can only import from Austria or the Ottomans, since they're the only 2 nations that border us right now, and we don't have access to the ocean, so we cannot trade with anybody else. That means we can now get some barracks done. We're going to queue up, say, 5 barracks should be fine. Technology-wise, we're also going to be focusing on stock exchange, banking, and just try and go down all the tier 1 technologies for society before we go for nationalism. In order to form Yugoslavia, we need to have at least 8 of the highlighted provinces on the map, meaning we're going to have to take at least 3 states from the Ottomans and all the other states from the Austrians. Bring our taxation level to very low, cancel that consumption tax on grain, and we're going to be switching from a theocracy to a monarchy if possible. We have quite a bit of support for that, so hopefully this passes. As you would expect, our entire government hates us and really is not on board with whatever we're doing here, but we're going to be making some restructuring, and we're going to bring in the clergy and the petite bourgeoisie in the government too. That should make the petite bourgeoisie slightly less upset, which means we get rid of the xenophobia. Who would have thought Serbian people being xenophobic? That's a total surprise to me. We might as well just use all of the decrees here, since we have so much extra authority right now. Will this one conscript survive against the Ottoman Empire? Probably not, so we're gonna need to get some friends here. We have actually quite a few options. As long as we become the subject of some of these nations, they're more than willing to help us out. I think I'm gonna become the subject of the Austrians for a couple of reasons. First off, Austria has a pretty decent market that I could become a part of. I have my own market, which consists of 5 lonely cattle and a horse. That's it. That's the entire market we have. Pretty much in all of my test runs, the British have sided with the Ottomans, so I do need the Russians also to join in, and they won the province of Dobroja in exchange for joining in against the Ottomans, which means I can only take one other province. I'm gonna go for Bosnia, simply because Bosnia has tooling workshops, armaments industries, artillery, iron mines, and it's just overall a really good state to have early on in the campaign, as well as amazing for industrializing, which is what we're all about here in the Montenegro land. We still should have about 100 battalions more than them, so we should technically be okay. Looks like like the Austrians improving with us, we might as well return the favor and improve with them too. Oh, look at that advantage. 47 is Jover. We already freaking won. All because of the might of the Montenegro army. It's totally not because of half of the literal planet helping us out here. Oh, and the French also want to give me assistance. Of course, we would love some military aid from the French. Yeah, that's right, baby. Kick some Ottoman butts. Look, that was Montenegrin units putting most of the work in, just pointing it out, not the Russians. And we got the war goal. Okay, can we get the rest of the war goal? Mainly Montenegro itself, please? Let's also make sure we have very high military wages. It literally only costs 46 ducats to have very high military wages. Yeah, the benefits of being a small, insignificant nation. And it looks like our population is really on board with monarchy. We already advanced to adoption phase, and we're absolutely kicking butts here. Hey, we also got Dobroja, so that means we got all the war goals. Oh, look at that! The war support's lowering for the Ottomans. Oh, this is actually amazing. And we also became a monarchy. Literally the most blessed of starts ever. And yes, in case you're wondering, this is the 8th start. I failed 8 times. This is the one. I promised myself this is the one. It's over, Ottomans. I have the high ground. There you go, baby. Dobroja, Bosnia, and Karadag is ours. So we've quadrupled in size from 10,000 GDP to 800,000 GDP. Oh my god, we're actually amazing. Let's go ahead and actually incorporate the state, which is apparently starving. We have 600,000 people starving. Yeah, we might have some issues in our country right now. We've got one wheat farm already. We're gonna be spamming a few more farms because I feel like farming might be an issue in our country right now with all of that starvation going around. Let's get road maintenance, emergency relief, help out some people, promote social mobility, resource industry. We can also change our government, get the rural folk in the government as well, which means we can attempt to go for agrarianism as well as attempt again to go for homesteading or tenant farmers. Either one is good. I'm gonna try homesteading though. Let's see how that goes. Time to also change some of our production methods and check what exactly is missing on our market. As you would imagine, it's grain. It's really just we are lacking a lot of grain and apparently some furniture too. So I'm going to change some things around in my country, and I'm going to be prioritizing my wheat farms first off, as well as the furniture manufacturing to actually make some money and start growing that GDP even more. Oh, and I have access to the sea because of the land we took from the Ottomans. I'm going to be also requesting some knowledge sharing, maybe some market control, which I know the Austrians are going to deny, just so I increase my liberty desire. We want to have this as close to rebellious as possible, just so we can start a liberation war against Austria. Apparently the Prussians also hate the Austrians, so I'm going to be improving relations with them too. We do need more influence points, so let's get some rivals. There is not a shortage of rivals for us, considering we're a very small nation. There is a lot of them in Europe that we can rival in exchange, meaning we're basically swimming right now in influence points that we can use to improve relations with everybody. It's also time to do a little bit more industry aside from just the wheat farms and everything else we have here. We need to give jobs to our people. The reason we have 6.1 standard of living right now is because majority of our population is peasants, and peasants, as you would imagine, work in subsistence farms, which means they don't really get much money out of them. So we just need to get any sort of jobs to our people to increase our overall standard of living. And you know what? I'm gonna go to iron frame buildings just because I can. Okay, that means we might be going on a minus here, but if we're playing our cards right, that should increase the speed at which we can finish building everything by quite a huge amount. We've got right now 200,000 in reserves, so we can burn through quite a few years of reserves. Also, can we actually pass homesteading? It's 88%. How do you not pass at 88%? Come on, game. A wonderful idea indeed. The first university is being built in Bosnia. Fun fact, this is actually a famous university because this is where the great Montenegrin leader studied. His name was Johnny Sinspuluku, and he started his career as a pizza man, became a doctor, and then eventually president of the country. That happened, okay? It happened. With great technology comes great responsibility. That's why it's time to switch over to the better advanced production methods here, including gas street lights. After only 4 years, we actually managed to get homesteading, which is going to considerably improve our situation. It also means we're probably going to have to switch away from our current government stance and and maybe replace the landowners with the Orthodox Church. I feel like that works, and it also means we can enact agrarianism next, going from traditional Montenegrins to Amish Montenegrin. This is what this video was about this whole time, guys. We're becoming the Amish paradise in the Balkans. Another day, another war. We've asked our beautiful overlord of Austria to join in this time, and the war goals are taking Albania, Serbia, and South Serbia. Plus, looks like Russia also joined on the side of our beautiful overlord for the exchange of province of Kars from the Ottomans. So once more, we're gonna be bashing the Ottomans into oblivion, and there's nothing they can do, because this time they don't even have the support of the British, which is amazing. It means this is gonna be a very, very easy war for us. Let's go, baby! Once more into the fray. We're winning on every single front here. It is amazing what 7 brave Montenegrins can do without any sort of help, right? Yeah, this is totally us, 100%. After hundreds of years, it seems like Constantinople has also been occupied once more by brave Orthodox forces. Wait, no, that's the Austrian. Pretty sure that is GG's for Auto Bros. Look at that. We even got Albania, which everybody knows is secretly part of Yugoslavia, okay? What the fuck you calling me? You say I am Serbian? You son of a camel mother bitch! I am declared war on Ludi! This is unacceptable! This is Albania! And this is Serbia! Completely different, you son of a bitch! Don't worry about it too much. That means we got 1.2 million population, as well as quite a few decent buildings, including logging camps, fishing wharfs, an extra textile mill. We do have to make some changes in the government though. Sadly, it is not going great, so we might have to actually cancel our current switch to agrarianism. We also cannot really support 2 construction sectors, so we're gonna delete the one in Albania, and we're gonna build our very first government administration in Albania too, because we are not getting all the taxes we're supposed to be getting from that province right now. Plus, we need some more bureaucracy, so we need at least 1 or maybe even 2 government administration buildings. We're also gonna be doing violence suppression and road maintenance in the province, which makes it so we get less construction efficiency reduction from the turmoil in that state. And it's also time that we start decreasing our relations with our overlord so that we can go to war with them eventually. We don't need to worry about the Ottomans anymore for the time being. In fact, I'm probably not going to take any more lands from the Ottomans, but I do need to take quite a few provinces from Austria. There we go. Serbs are now a puppet of our nation, so let's improve relations with them now. We don't want our puppet to be too upset with us, do we now? I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I do regret disbanding that construction sector in Albania. I think that now we have the economy to sustain 2 construction sectors, so... Oh! Great Britain wants to support my independence. Okay. And what do you know, guys? We have failed agrarianism. We were so close to actually getting it, and we failed. That is just so disappointing. Let's try and get professional army. That might actually help us out a bit. Oh, 3.5 progress for central archives we can get. And boys, we got atmospheric engine pumps, which means we can now make significantly more iron and coal. We are in essence the backbone of the industry of Austria. Maybe even the prostate. Who's to say? I'm trying to segregate these people and they're rebelling. I don't understand. Can someone explain to me what their problem is? Unfortunately for the Bosnians, the Austrians support us, so this rebellion is not going to go anywhere. Now, we do seem to have some serious problems with paper in the Austrian market, so I think I might actually be able to make a little bit of a profit by building some extra paper mills. Now, I'm also going to be reprioritizing my technology queue. I'm going to try and go for railways and water tube boilers so I can literally become the industrial power area of Austria. That way, when we break away and we do our independence war, it's going to completely collapse their economy. Oh yeah, shaka boyos. Racial segregation, America's favorite topic. Now, that does pave the way for a lot more legislation to be passed now. And it's time to finally annex the Serbs. 12 infamy is literally nothing, considering we haven't been very aggressive in the past few years. Time to also get all of our conscripts. We managed to get a lot of extra conscripts because we are using the enlistment effort. Otherwise, we probably would lose this, considering the Serbs actually have 15 standing army. The British, which love us and they're guaranteeing our independence, also are joining on our side. They're pulling a Ludi and they're actually sending no army. Yeah, two units. They're sending 2 regiments in what is likely one of the most important wars in all of history, okay? The annexation of Serbia by Montenegro. We're gonna write about the mischief of the British people so that all future Montenegrins can know about. There you go. Serbia is finally ours. Let's go ahead and incorporate the state. So now we finally have more Serbs than Albanians. That's right. For the past last 20 years, we kind of had more Albanians than Serbs in our country, which is scary. Now it's time to change the enlistment effort decrees back to social mobility, which is the best way for us to actually increase our literacy right now. You also can go for public health insurance, so we would be the first nation in the world to get public health insurance. Ignore all the nations that already have public health insurance. Like we don't talk about those guys. As soon as I clicked the privatize buttons, I went up to max reserves. So now I gotta cancel the privatized buildings because I don't want to waste money, right? This just reminds me how absolutely insanely overpowered privatization is in this game. It's been literally years since I started passing presidential republic, and finally we went to consideration phase. We also right now are the biggest steel producer in Eastern Europe. We're basically producing all of the steel in the Austrian market. And speaking of, I'm close to ready to declaring my independence war. I just signed my defensive pact with the Russians, which means that I might be able to rely on them. We're also on the way to getting a level 3 education and level 4 health system, so we're pretty advanced for a Balkan nation if you ask me. I mean, 11.1 standard of living is more than the average European is right now. Oh, looks like there is an Austrian-Ottoman war in the process, so that's even better. Weaker Austria before I declare war is always going to be welcomed. And look, we even have people migrating to our lands now. Armenians are migrating from the Ottoman Empire. I wonder what's happening there that's making them migrate out of there. Okay, now I'm just feeling like everyone's piling up on the Ottomans more than anything else. Ooh, there's an Albanian uprising in the province of Skopje. Isn't that Macedonian though? And we also got Bulgarians migrating to our lands now. Speaking of Macedonians. It's time for the Great War of Independence of 1870. We're also returning our Montenegrin provinces, Croatia, Dalmatia, Slavonia, and we've got about 40 regular units as well as close to 100 conscripts, courtesy of the enlistment effort decree, which is honestly one of the most broken freaking things in this game. Now, that does mean we're out of the Austrian market, so we do have some massive issues now. We're gonna have to either rejoin some other market or start getting all of these goods that we're lacking massively right now, or we're gonna just collapse economically if we don't. Does mean also that we've collapsed the Austrian economy because they were relying on us for iron as well as for coal and for steel. And whilst the Russians, the British, and the Belgians do most of the heavy lifting, we're just gonna be defending. We do need to wait for a while before all of our conscripts get recruited, and once that's done, we can start pushing into getting our objectives as well. We actually can get a trade agreement with the French. That is amazing because that's actually gonna fix all of our trade issues. Getting a trade agreement with them means that we don't have any import or export bureaucracy costs now with the French. Sadly, I have to completely destroy all of my construction sector. It's painful to see, but sometimes you just have to regress in economic growth before you can actually grow back again and later down the line. Also, it looks like we have a massive advantage here, so let's actually start pushing. Advance front, designate strategic objective Croatia. Okay, we're making massive gains here. Should be a fairly easy war. My biggest issue, however, is just the fact that my economy is absolutely gonna die after this. Right now, the biggest expense is the military goods. I was basically relying on the Austrians for most of my military goods. Actually, you know what? I just realized I don't need the conscripts. Let's demobilize the conscripts. I feel like the Russians and everybody else can win this for me. Yep, I'm just relying on my allies. For the first time in the whole campaign. First time. I've never done this before. First time I'm relying on my allies to do all that. And look at it, boys. We have now gotten... Oh my god, we're actually a square, aren't we? We're literally a freaking square right now. That's funny. Wait, did Albania gain independence from that war? They did! Oh my god. Albania just asked for membership in Yugoslavia, just saying, in case you guys were wondering. But I'll wait for a while, because it's only 5 infamy. I am so taking that. Let's go. First thing we do after we get out of a massive war is start another war. Exactly. And we remember not to get too many conscripts or we might destroy our economy again. In fact, we have to fix our economy now. Sadly, we cannot yet form Yugoslavia because we need one more province from the Austrians. We're gonna have to redo all of these trade routes here. Oh, would you look at that? The French are guaranteeing my independence. How sweet of them. I feel like Macedonia should be, or Skopje should be one of the required states for forming Yugoslavia, because I might be wrong about this, but I do remember Macedonia being a part of Yugoslavia, right? Now let's also not forget to incorporate the newly conquered states and make sure we lower that turmoil and violence by violently suppressing them. The British are also guaranteeing my independence. Holy schnitzel. If only they knew that I'm the aggressor here in most instances. And look at that. The holiest of trade agreements with the Russians has finally arrived. And it seems, boys, that the North German Federation just formed. Okay, this Germany feels like is a little bit aggressive. They just wiped out Hanover. They somehow at some point wiped out Württemberg, and now they're at war with the Russians. Do I need to be worried here? So after quite a few years of recovery, we finally managed to be on a positive. We only have 300,000 in debt, which is honestly nothing. We could also technically go down to medium government wages. That would not be the worst idea, actually. Standard of living wise, we're at 13, and we just got a lobby opportunity to get an alliance with the Russians, which means that we're gonna have 100 extra positive towards getting that alliance, which means that after we can use them in the war against the Austrians. I've been holding off because I couldn't actually get anyone to help me against Austria, but with the Russians on our side, it's gonna be a piece of cake now. I have to say, this is probably one of the most tough campaigns I've had in a while. I'm usually used to just like quickly expanding this, increasing my economy, but I had to make some massive cutbacks throughout this campaign so I just don't completely collapse economically. All right, boyos, let's go. They want to give me military assistance. I am super okay with that, sure. Probably want to go down on medium taxation. We seems to be doing okay financially for now. And it looks like the balance is turning into our favor, slowly but surely turning into our favor. The fact that we have the adamant defense on this general makes such a massive difference. Okay, we actually have Russian troops here now, so let's start pushing as well. Give me the lands. Give them right now. Well, yeah, I guess we can make the two Sicilies and whoa. Confederate States a possible rival? What the hell has been happening in the New World? Confederate States of America is apparently an actual nation. They're not at war with the US, and the US has not taken Mexican lands. All right, don't tell me Mexico is a subject of someone. They're not, no. Okay, this has been one of the more interesting runs for sure. And look at that, Chile also has more than half of South America. They basically cucked up the Argentinians completely, and they took most of Patagonia. But hey, we have won. This time, I have to say, we did pull in our weight, okay? It wasn't just our allies. This time, we actually had 100-something regiments. Come on, there you go, baby. Oh, yeah. Look at that, juicy Yugoslavian lands, boys. I go to journal, and it's time to form the nation of Yugoslavia, a glorious union, and we get claims on Banat and Istria, and we also have this insane map color that I am actually in love with. Transylvania is an independent nation now too, and Austria, our former overlord, got absolutely schnitzeled on, as I like to say. Hey, we also became a major power now. We're the 10th major power in the world, but I'm gonna finish it off here. It was fun, but this was honestly one of the more stressful campaigns I had, and I had like 8 or 9 attempts before I actually managed to form Yugoslavia, so it definitely has a bit of an RNG element to it. Hope you guys enjoyed this though. If you want me to do more hardcore campaigns like this, I was thinking to do Krakow into Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth if we get 5,000 likes in this video. So until the next one, I love you guys and take care of yourselves.